Quitting is easy. The moment things get hard, uncomfortable, or uncertain, your mind whispers, maybe this isn't for you. You start something new with excitement, feeling motivated and full of energy. But as time passes and progress slows, doubts creep in. The results don't come as fast as you expected. The initial excitement fades, and suddenly, pushing forward feels exhausting. Your mind starts coming up with reasons to stop. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. What if I fail? Or, I'll start again when the timing is better. This pattern repeats in many areas of life: fitness goals, learning a new skill, starting a business, or even personal growth. You get stuck in a cycle of starting and stopping, constantly searching for something easier or waiting for the perfect moment. But here's the truth: the perfect moment never comes. Why do we quit so easily? At its core, quitting is often a response to discomfort, whether it's fear of failure, lack of motivation, or impatience for results. Our brains are wired to seek comfort and avoid pain. The moment something feels challenging, our instincts tell us to escape. But if you keep quitting every time things get hard, you never give yourself the chance to grow. Imagine two possible outcomes: one where a person gives up, and one where they push through. Let's look at the story of Jake, someone who faced this exact choice. Jake always wanted to be a writer. He had stories in his head, dreams of publishing a book, and a vision of inspiring others. One day, he finally decided to start. He outlined his novel, wrote the first few pages, and felt proud of his progress. But as days passed, self-doubt crept in. Writing wasn't as easy as he thought. His ideas didn't flow as smoothly, and some days, he hated what he wrote. He compared himself to other successful writers and felt miles behind. The thought of continuing felt overwhelming. Frustrated and doubting his abilities, Jake convinces himself that maybe writing isn't for him. Maybe I'm just not talented enough, he tells himself. Every time he sits down to write, he feels that weight of expectation, that pressure to create something good. Instead of pushing through, he stops writing altogether. At first, he feels relief. No more stress, no more struggling with words that don't come out right. He tells himself that it's okay, that he'll try again someday when he's more inspired or when life is less busy. But someday never comes. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months. He sees other writers publish their books, and a small voice inside reminds him of the dream he once had. Regret begins to settle in. He thinks about what could have been if he had just kept going. He tells himself stories about why he didn't follow through. Maybe he wasn't meant to be a writer, maybe he just wasn't good enough. But deep down, he knows that he never gave himself a real chance. He let self-doubt win, and now, he's left wondering what might have been. But what if Jake had chosen a different path? Instead of giving in to doubt, Jake decides to keep writing, even when it feels difficult. He stops expecting perfection and just focuses on consistency. Some days, his writing is bad, but he keeps going. He reads about famous authors who also struggled in the beginning and reminds himself that growth takes time. He starts writing every day, even if it's just a few sentences. At first, it's hard. His inner critic is loud, telling him that his work isn't good enough. But he ignores it and continues. Over time, the habit builds. He starts finishing chapters. He realizes that the struggle is part of the process, not a sign to quit. Months later, he finishes his first draft. It's rough, but it's a completed book. Instead of feeling doubt, he feels pride. He revises, improves, and eventually, he gets the courage to publish. The book isn't perfect, but it's out in the world. He receives feedback, learns from his mistakes, and starts his next book with more confidence. Years later, Jake is a published author, doing what he once thought was impossible, all because he didn't quit when it got tough. The choice to quit or push through is always in your hands. While quitting may bring temporary relief, pushing forward despite challenges leads to growth, success, and a sense of fulfillment. If you struggle with staying committed, here are a few ways to build resilience and avoid giving up too soon. Set realistic expectations. Success is a process, not an overnight event. Expect difficulties along the way and remind yourself that progress is rarely linear. Break it down. If a task feels overwhelming, divide it into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on completing just one thing at a time rather than worrying about the entire journey. Build a habit, not just motivation. Motivation fades, but discipline lasts. Create a daily or weekly routine that keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. Track your progress. Keep a journal or checklist to remind yourself of how far you've come. When doubt creeps in, looking back at your progress can be motivating. Embrace imperfection. Not everything you do will be perfect, and that's okay. Keep learning, keep improving, and don't let the fear of mistakes stop you from taking action. Find an accountability partner. Share your goals with someone who will encourage and push you when you feel like quitting. Sometimes, knowing that someone else is watching your progress can keep you on track. Visualize the long-term outcome. When you feel like quitting, imagine where you'll be a year from now if you keep going versus if you give up. The future version of you will thank you for staying the course. Challenges and doubts will always come, but success belongs to those who persist. The next time you feel like giving up, take a deep breath, refocus, and take one more step forward. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on mindset and success.